Hi everyone, this is Narendran, and this is a short demo on my thesis, um, fact track generation for Tamil hate speech, specifically the misogynistic and xenophobic content. So all the code and the data that we have generated for our methodologies is all added to this GitHub repository. So as I mentioned in this README, with our first methodology, we generated 5,000 pairs of hate speech and counter narrative pairs from an initial 220 HSCN pairs, where we utilized the human in the loop approach with author reviewer framework, where during each and every iteration, the voluntary human experts provided corrected the generated uh, counter narrative, and where the counter narratives were generated by our LLMs. And then in our second methodology, we used fact-based counter narrative generation, where we used the data from external news articles to add some factual content to support our generated counter narratives for a given hate speech. And then in our final step, we combined the above two methodologies, where we used the final V5, that is 5,000 hate speech counter narrative pairs to get the which is used for the linguistic tone for the counter narrative, where the relevant counter narratives from the data set is used to provide examples for the given hate speech. And then we also utilized the external news article um, from the second methodology to add the factual content to the given hate speech. So this is the overall flow diagram. I'll be going through the code in a minute, but this is the first step where we um, get the context of our document selection. We retrieve the documents um, from an external Tamil source. Initially, we generate 3 queries for a given input hate speech, how the counter narratives should be generated. We generate those queries, and from there we retrieve the relevant documents. In the second stage, we do the summarization. This is because the documents that are retrieved from the news articles is usually too large, and we summarize them, and then there is also a document critique step to pick the most relevant document among that. And then in the final step, we generate the counter narratives. So based on the context from here and the input hate speech, we initially generate 3 counter narratives, and then finally we combine these 3 and generate one single counter narrative. So at this step, we are using this final V5 data set. So quickly going back to um, the code in Google Colab, where for the purposes of this demo, I'm just going to um, generate a counter narrative for this hate speech content. And this was taken from, we used a test data set. So this is the this is the hate speech for which we are trying to generate a counter narrative. And also, I would also like to show this is the V5 final data set. And you can see this as like 5,000 pairs of HSCN content. It's all been attached to this GitHub repository. So the input to this lang chain, and we are using this lang chain for the chain of thought prompting, and initially takes just the hate speech. if I go back to the first function, contextual queries, yeah, this takes a hate speech where the output is going to be the hate speech and the queries, and then this will be fed as an input to the next function and so on here. And this is actually the external news article that we are choosing to generate the factual content. This is from Hugging Face. This is the news article. So yeah, this is the steps like retrieving the documents, summarizing it, and grading it based on a Boolean 0 or 1 to pick the most relevant document, generating the counter narratives, and here we generate the best counter narrative. And here you can see that we're utilizing this a V5 data set to generate the examples to get the linguistic tone for the counter narrative. And I have already compiled all these functions, as it will take some time. So I'm just going to run this function. Um, so for the purpose of demo, and I'm actually printing the output from each and every function, so you can see that what is being generated for as part of generate queries, and the documents that's been retrieved, everything will be printed so that we can see it in the end. This takes some time to generate the final counter narrative. Okay, so the pipeline is now complete. You see this final function has printed the best counter speech. Yeah, it took some time, around like 6 to 7 minutes, because our data source, like V5 dataset, had around 5,000 HSCN pairs, and need to find out the relevant ones from it. But if we take a look at this content, we just copy this here. Um, we can actually see the query and the documents it has retrieved, which document, query document pair it was filtered, um, and the final counter narrative. All the details has been printed here as part of this big JSON content, um, which will be added to the repository as well. So yeah, that's all for this demo. Thank you.